Create the best Twitter profile.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to work with all three of you because, we are here to elevate the industry. We're here to disseminate great information that companies all around the world are utilizing since social media became this organic thing that became something that marketers started using and big companies started copying the way we were doing it organically. And now we have to be a little bit scientific about it, a little bit strategic about that. And tonight we'll talk about Twitter and how be strategic. And I'm going to turn this into a game to where we can just kind of maybe pick apart different Twitter accounts and say this is great, this is what not great. But we can also layer in the conversation about what else we do to with the industry.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
So what I want to play today with my co-hosts, my three lovely co-hosts tonight, I would love to we're not picking on anybody there, but these are actually people that followed me. And we want to talk about, are they people, not people, and why this Twitter profile would be a good one or a bad one, or how can we improve it upon it. And if Art Supply Daily is watching, that would be great. We could say, hey, this will help you. Not to embarrass you, but you're out there online, you have 12 tweets, and you're following 809 people, and your followers are 76, which isn't good numbers. I think past 1,000 is a good number nowadays, that you have leverage. So, Jackie, what would you say about this person? If they followed you, are you going to follow them back? Can you see it?
Okay, I can see it. Truthfully, on this one, I would research it a little bit more. I'd go a little bit deeper. This would not get my instant follow. And the reason for that is because there's no header. The image is ambiguous. It's supposed to be artsy. I get it. But I would, because I am a closet artist, actual, that the name would trigger me enough to actually probably click through to go and see if it's a real account or if it's a bot. But they didn't take a lot of time with it. Unless I'm really in the market for art supplies, which I'm assuming is what they're about, talking about art supplies. But again, I'm unclear. So, but I love you. If you're a small business, I support you.
You're a small business. Yeah, I think it's a real small business. They're just new to Twitter, and that's okay. If I told you that all their tweets are actually retweets, they're not real tweets, that would scare me a little bit. And there's no header. So Jennifer, tell me about what no header means to you.
No header means that to me, I'm thinking it's a fake account. I think it's a spam account. I'm not exactly sure. Like Jackie said, they haven't taken time to really invest in, and when I say invest, just taking the time to properly market what it is that they do, or how they can be associated, or how they can attract followers. The 809 following and the 76 followers, not a bad number. It's not about being good or bad, but how are they going to engage people? Why are they on Twitter? Are they just on Twitter just to retweet, or are they on Twitter to get some information and build relationships and start to scan or see what type of information could be valuable to whoever's following them, would be my first question. But definitely take advantage of that header, because that means that they can advertise or communicate what Art Supply Daily does, who they serve, who they want to engage with. So I think that's an opportunity for this particular account.
Yeah, and Linda, that header is prime real estate. Wouldn't you say that they're kind of missing out on?
I would. And the thing is, I love the picture, but I wouldn't even investigate them, because to me, when a person has 12 tweets, that shows me nothing. I just, I'm sorry. Either 12 tweets is that's nothing. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing about that though, John?
Yes.
Okay, because
Sure.
this is me. This is the mom in me wanting everybody to be happy and all that.
I know.
What I will say,
you're cautious.
well, here's the thing. Before March of last year, I would say that anybody that didn't have a header and that had that really low follow ratio was probably a scam account. But we can't negate what Periscope and what Blab has done. And so you're forced to have a Twitter account to participate on these mediums, but it doesn't mean that you're actually using your Twitter account. So benefit of the doubt could be that they may be Periscoping a lot, or they could be blabbing. I don't know them on Blab, but maybe they've not really put the effort into Twitter. So I'm not trying to make it okay for them. I am just recognizing that it's a little bit different ball game than it was a year ago because of the live streaming and the forced use of Twitter to make it happen.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good point. Now let's look at this one, because we know what this one is, right? Their bio says buy 5,000 Facebook likes now, just $107. The name, her Twitter name is Prelate Yvonne, and her real name, as we call it in the real world, is Yvonne Prelate. And it has a nice picture that looks like a logo-y thing. She's got one tweet. She's following 970. Followers are 94. We know this is a bot. Linda, what is a bot? Because it came up. Fake follower bot. What does that mean?
Isn't that just a little? It's an automated machine. It's not a real person.
Right.
It's just something that is generated by by technology.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things when you are a new Twitter user, you want to pick your name and make sure it doesn't have a lot of numbers in it. You want to pick your Twitter name and your real name. Your Twitter name is the @ sign and whatever, and your real name is something else. Make sure that they match, or they don't match, that's okay, but make sure they look like real names, and that's a big deal, because right now Twitter bots can make these look so real. They'll use a real name in the real name section, and the Twitter name will look also very similar. The bots have gotten so much better. So you might look like a bot, a program, which people will automatically block you. And of course, I'll be blocking that one. And of course, the one tweet is bad. They do have a header, which makes you want to follow them. That's it. You know, it looks like, oh, they look like a professional Twitter. You might follow them. So they're getting more followers than somebody who just doesn't put in the extra effort of doing a Twitter bio.
Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that was on. Well, let's not shut. That's when my mother calls.
That's your mother's?
That's my mother's.
Oh, bad to the bone. That was bad to the bone, right? Because that's so funny, right? I'm sorry, we can start the show now. We're done.
Jon-David, Jean gives us an explanation of what a bot is.
It's an automated service that goes out and searches the web. When it finds specific things that meets characteristics, it starts to do its thing. Yeah, which is like copy and make it look like it's a real Twitter user. And my point is that when you sign on for Twitter, your Twitter account alone can actually attract your customers, and you don't have to tweet at all. You can see these tweets that these Twitter profiles. Some of them don't even have a lot of tweets. They're not tweeting. They might be, as Jackie said, they might be using Blab more than they are Twitter. But what's going to happen is, if I'm searching for a hairdresser in Chicago, your Twitter profile will come up if you have the proper bio. I'm going to see it, and I'm going to look at your header, your picture, your name, and your tweets and your ratio, but mainly I'm going to look for a few other things as well. And so I would like to show a few other things that we would be looking at. On this one, look, and yet she's not tweeting. She only has one tweet. She's using her signature as the header. It says under her bio, award-winning hair and makeup artist, watercolor artist, author, blogger, and haute couture fashion designer. Boca Raton, Florida. Her website is sherryizo.com, which matches her Twitter name, which matches her real name. And she only has one tweet. And she only has 201 followers because she's not really tweeting. But tell me what's so good about this one, Jennifer, or bad if you want to.
What's good is that the visual, that the name branding is consistent, that she is following people. So I'm assuming that she's following people who are in the industry and who she probably can learn from or just has some connection to. We know where she is. Her website is there. So if we wanted to get some more information, we could click her website and take a look at her. We have a picture of her working on a client, I'm assuming. So then we do know that there is some legitimacy to her being an award-winning hairstylist and makeup artist because she is there actually doing some work. I would be interested to see who she is actually following. So I would certainly engage Sherry and try to see to get her to reply because she has a huge opportunity, I think, to find clients if that's what she's looking for, or to become a subject matter expert in hair and makeup and watercolor artists. I would like to know a little bit more about that, but I think she has a huge opportunity. But again, there's her website, so all I have to do is just click and do a little bit more research. So I do think that that's good.
Keywords, talk about those in her bio, Jackie.
Yeah.
What does that mean in a keyword search for me looking for someone like that?
Well, technically it means a lot. SEO-wise, it means a lot, but really just visually, because you have that split second. If you even click on, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not always clicking on everybody that's following me. But when I do, I'm only going to give them a couple of seconds of, visual time. So whatever information that needs to be there visually should be there, but also in the absence of a visual touchstone, having the keywords in the profile is really important. There's just certain people that I don't want to be following anymore. Like, frankly, comedians. I love comedians when I see them on TV or whatever. I don't enjoy them on Twitter, right? And when I first got on Twitter, I was like, oh, I'm going to follow Jon Stewart. I'm going to follow. I had this whole lineup of people that I want to follow. And then they were just bugging me. So I think keywords, if you're not on Twitter for business purposes, then do whatever you want with your profile and all that. But if you are at all interested in building an audience or following that has something to do with what you do for a living, then yeah, I think you need to be keyword heavy in your profile, but not obnoxious about it like poor Peyton was last night.
What about you, Linda? Do you have to say anything about this young lady?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. I think that her, I like the font that she's using, and I think that her picture is really great. I think it's very provocative, the fact that she sent out one tweet, and I'm kind of like everyone else. I would definitely check her out to see who she's following, just because her picture is, I think it's great.
I do.
So I do think I want to know more about her.
Yeah, and if I was someone looking for a makeup artist, she's in Boca Raton, Florida, and I put in I needed a makeup artist in Boca Raton, Florida. If I was doing a show there, I was, hairdresser traveling for a hair show, I would go to Twitter. I would go wherever I could. We love agencies and so forth. But, I go on Twitter, since I'm a Twitter guy, I would put in a search or a super search in Twitter, and I would look for a makeup artist and put in Baton Rouge. And guess who's going to come up? That girl we just saw, because she used the words makeup artist, and she put Baton Rouge, Florida in the right place in the city. So I stress to people, if you want to be found for being a hair salon, a award-winning hair salon, or a spa, or a massage therapist, those keywords have to be in your bio. Plus, your city where you're located has to be in the proper placements area. You don't need to you can put Chicago in your bio, but it's already done for you. You don't have to waste the bio. So think of bios as just search engine optimization for your Twitter account. And even though she has one tweet, she had 200 followers just following her automatically because A, she's probably in Baton Rouge, Florida, and they also like makeup artists. Maybe they knew her, but they were able to find her.